From the Bright Landry Hockey Center at Harvard University, this is the Ivy League on ESPN. And tonight, for the first time ever, Arizona State takes the ice as a ranked team against the Harvard Crimson. We welcome you to Cambridge, Massachusetts, alongside Ben Alcher. I'm Kevin Gale. 2 years ago, Harvard traveled to Arizona State and outscored the Sun Devils 13-2. But now, in just year 4 as a Division I program, Arizona State is ranked 18th in the country, and the Sun Devils bring the best scorer in the country. His name, Johnny Walker.
Well, the tables have turned a little bit for these two programs, and Johnny Walker is a big reason why he's so smooth all over the ice. No surprise to see him leading the nation in scoring.
On the other side, Harvard opened the season with 4 winless games before bouncing back on a 3-point stretch on the road at Yale and Brown last weekend. The Harvard power play is converting nearly 41% of the time, and Adam Fox is a big reason why.
Well, he's been the quarterback of this Harvard power play ever since he set foot on campus. He can beat you with a pass, he can beat you with a shot, dangerous in a variety of ways.
Harvard's power play ranks number 2 in the country, and special teams could certainly be the story tonight. Arizona State boasts the best penalty kill unit in the country. And as you take a look at the Harvard Crimson tonight, they get the Arizona State Sun Devils for the first of 2 games this weekend. Should be a very interesting matchup here. 2 programs with completely different hockey histories when you consider, Ben, that Harvard has been playing on the ice 117 years longer than Arizona State.
Well, the history doesn't matter in this matchup, though. As you said, Arizona State is the team that's coming in ranked today, so they're the team that's on a little bit of a hot stretch. They really kind of blossomed into that national spotlight, able to beat Penn State, who came in as one of the top programs in the country. That sort of put the Sun Devils on the radar a little bit, and they're trying to show Harvard that, well, all that history, all that tradition, it doesn't mean much to them.
You mentioned some of those opportunities against top-notch programs. Arizona State is still a program without a conference. They're independent in year number 4 as a D1 team, so they have loaded up the at-large resume with road trips just like this to Cambridge. And who better to backstop tonight than Joey Decord, the North Andover, Massachusetts native, who has started every minute in net this year.
Well, he's been excellent all season long. The junior has put up right around a 2 goals against average, a plus 900 save percentage, and he's going to be tested tonight. We know that Harvard loves to pepper the goalie with shots.
Michael Lackey will get the start on the other end. It's still a job that's up for grabs, according to head coach Ted Donato.
Yeah, Lackey was the favorite coming into the season. The senior from DC's started to find his game a little bit. That's going to be a big piece. Harvard finally got that first win out of the way last weekend. We'll see if they can build off that momentum here tonight.
Harvard in the traditional home whites, and this is a loud outfit for the visiting Arizona State Sun Devils. Maroon, graphite gray, and highlighter gold. When you have such a short hockey history, why not be bold, especially according to head coach Greg Powers, now in his 11th year. Yes, that's right. He was actually the club hockey coach for Arizona State, and when they went Division I, they stuck with the man at the top.
Got to be colorful out in the desert, right?
Absolutely. Here's a breakout the other way. Nathan Krusko looking for space. Sends it to the right wing where Jack Drury skates it around. Got upended there.
Really interested to see this second line for Harvard. Boasts a lot of this youth.
All top lines getting the start here tonight. Running that first shift. The first of 2 games. We're at the Bright Landry Hockey Center, and we thank you for tuning in to the Ivy League on ESPN. Dornbach on the go. Tries to send a pass in front. Interrupted in the circle. There's a wicked wrister right into the gut of Decord, and he'll settle it down. But that had some pace from one of those outstanding Crimson freshmen, Jack Rathbone.
Well, Rathbone's been great all year long. Really had a strong first home opening weekend when the Crimson were unable to come away with more than a point between games against Quinnipiac and Princeton. But Rathbone showed well in both those games against top-notch opponents, and you know he's going to be a staple on this blue line as long as he's here.
We've talked a little bit about some of those struggles early on for Harvard this year. Consistency was the word that Ted Donato used a lot today when he spoke with us. Trying to get this team better and more experienced. He said by January 1st, he doesn't want these freshmen to consider themselves rookies anymore. These first-year players have to take that step up and start playing like sophomores and maybe even juniors.
Michael Floodstrand showing him how to play along the boards, delivering a huge shot.
A lot of contact there. Looked like Jacob Wilson got caught up in the wash for Arizona State. Sun Devils trying to work it around the sideboards from behind their own goal. Walsh took a swing at a puck out of the air. There's a joust for the puck at center ice, and it's prodded along by Dylan Holman.
So far, Arizona State has not been able to even get it over the Harvard blue line.
Arizona State hasn't had much trouble scoring goals this year as get an offsides called on the right wing for Arizona State.
Right now they're having some real trouble with the transition game. Crimson doing a good job clogging the neutral zone, really closing off those passes out along the wall, and nothing has come easy so far over these first 2 minutes for the Sun Devils.
Sun Devils averaging nearly 4 goals per game, good for 8th best in the country. They're not even the top scoring team on this ice. Harvard has filled up the score sheet so far this year, averaging 4.2 goals per game. That's tied for 2nd best in the nation.
Yeah, the offense really hasn't been a problem all year long for Harvard. We know they have players who can get it done offensively. The problem is come on the back end.
Morocco took a pass off the sideboard, centering feed, and then Lemieux got tied up behind the net with Sandu.
Crimson should have numbers here.
Puck was left at the blue line and then just dumped along for Decord to pick up. And you're going to see him play outside that net a lot. His head coach Greg Powers said he could be the best stick handler at the goalie position. Here's a chance in front, but Harvard lets it go begging.
Unselfish there by Gregoire. I get the idea. He was working on his backhand, but he had a better angle for the shot than try to drop it off to Krusko.
Mentioned Krusko joining the play there. Now in his junior campaign, we talk about non-traditional hockey powers. He's from Alpharetta, Georgia.
Sun Devils late on a change. Harvard almost caught him. A couple times now, Arizona State's just been a little bit slow. They got caught in a transition going forward on a breakout for Harvard, and that time had 2 guys coming off very late off the bench on a change.
Once again, as you pointed out, Arizona State content to just chip that puck along, a dump and chase mentality. Now waiting to clear the zone, backhand interrupted. Passionate handed it right back to the Crimson, who will skate from their own end, and here comes Adam Fox. He doesn't want to hear too much about Johnny Walker because, frankly, Ted Donato says Fox could be the best player in college hockey right now. Smaller sample size so far. Arizona State has already played 12 games. Harvard just 1, 2, and 2. Still getting their feet underneath them. Lackey will watch this puck. Pressed along into the corner. Olsen dodged a check along the end boards. Walsh looking for a feed through the middle. That's interrupted at center ice, but it bounces right to the feet of Bedini looking for a chance, and Decord covers up the 5-hole.
Now, so many good chances for Harvard going forward already over these first 4 minutes. That a nice job, just simply a loose puck at center ice, and that's one of those 50-50 pucks in the neutral zone you have to battle for. Right now it looks like Harvard just seems to be a step ahead, a little bit more on top of their game early on.
Harvard has certainly been out shooting and out chancing teams over and over. Same story here so far. Shots on goal just 2-1 in favor of the Crimson, but they're gobbling up a lot of offensive ice time.
And if you sort of think of the 3 areas of the ice as a possession clock, though, Harvard has been in Arizona State's end way more than the Sun Devils have been playing in the Crimson end.
One of the things we've learned about these 2 squads as well, they have 2-way blue liners. These defensemen can get out and score in a hurry. Arizona State looking for a little bit of obstruction there behind the goal. Nothing doing there as Johnny Walker, our player to watch, wearing lucky number 7, went up against the boards. There's a body check just in front of that Arizona State bench, delivered by Jacob Wilson. A little less than 16 minutes to go here in the opening period. No score between the Crimson and the Sun Devils. Arizona State billing this weekend matchup as innovation meets history. Fox, nice stick handle, one of the best in the country over the puck, and that one weakly slides into Decord.
Enough to get the offensive zone face-off. Fox realized that he was changing out behind the player. His teammates were getting fresh legs, so just figures, hey, let's win an offensive zone draw and see if we can take advantage.
Gavito Janssen skated right in front of him. He's one of 2 Latvians that made the long trip from Eastern Europe all the way to Tempe, Arizona, located just outside of Phoenix. It's a massive university campus. That's backhanded in front. Decord keeps the puck alive, trying to outlet some offense. You'll see that a lot tonight. He actually has 2 assists as a goalie this year. Pretty impressive. Sun Devils trying to work a feed in front. Charging late there from the wing was Jacob Stridesberg, and we'll get a whistle. Puck batted down with a high stick.
Good stick-to-itiveness there by Stridesberg. A bouncing puck, really wasn't in a good spot to shoot it, but still managed to fire one in the direction of Lackey just to see if he could catch him off guard. Really the first solid-looking chance today for Arizona State.
Relatively clean game so far. Brian Hicks, Peter Fiola are referees tonight. Ryan Knapp, Patrick DiPuzzo patrolling the lines. We'll get Zerder Gossage thrown out of the face-off circle. Harvard takes a lot of pride in its face-off unit. The best squads in the country, and when Bedini gets in there, it's the toughest matchup there is at the draw, winning nearly 71% of the time. Gossage went crashing in front again. Puck just missed him. Rusko went into the spin cycle, little pushing and shoving behind the net there. Zerder Gossage working his way. Crimson hold the zone, back out to the point. Dropped around the end boards by Jacob Olson, the St. Paul, Minnesota native. No goals, no assists so far this year, trying to get on the right side of things here. Now an opportunity in front, weaving through traffic to court, knocks it down, and then settles it for another draw. Oh, it took him a while to find that puck, but we have a break on the ice. No score here between the Sun Devils and Crimson. You're watching the Ivy League on ESPN. Ted Donato now in his 15th season as the head coach of the Harvard men's hockey program. No score here in the first of two games this weekend at Bryant Landry Hockey Center against the Arizona State Sun Devils. Alongside Ben Ulcher, I'm Kevin Gale. Pleasure to have you on board. Expecting an up and down battle between these two teams, and we can't wait to see that Harvard power play against the penalty kill unit for Arizona State. So far, though, the Crimson dominating on this end, and that puck was batted down cleanly by Jack Bedini in front. The sophomore picks up his third goal of the year, and Harvard leads 1-0.
What were you just talking about? Bedini, offensive zone face-off, and you see it right on cue. Wins the draw for the Crimson, goes right to the front of the net, and he's able to tip one through DeCord. You know if DeCord sees the puck, he's going to stop it, so what do you have to do? You have to get traffic in front, and that's exactly what Bedini does so effectively.
I asked Ted Donato today, how do you become a great face-off man? He said it's really like honing your craft, working on an art. It's a lot of hand-eye coordination, it's a lot of reaction time training, and Bedini along with Drury have done a majority of that work during the offseason. So the assist will come from Riley Walsh, his second assist of the year. Already the goals leader with 4 tallies so far, but his wicked wrister from the point was what opened that up for Bedini in front.
I got a great look right down the middle, but it was Bedini who set up the traffic going right to the front of the net.
So Harvard out in front. They have held the puck a lot more than Arizona State so far. What can the Sun Devils do here to try and flip the ice? Essentially with Johnny Walker, one of the leading scorers in the country, he draws a lot of double teams. Attracts a lot of attention, but so often that'll free up chances for some of those other top forwards. Kuman Zeese, the freshman at center, has been one of the better options as that one flutters up into the mesh, and we'll get a face-off here right in front of Michael Lackey, who hasn't seen much action in front of him, just one shot on goal.
Yeah, and that was an easy one that he just kind of stuck out with the glove hand that was headed wide anyway, just to sort of keep it out of the danger zone.
So he looks down at center ice, and this face-off come over the top of that Harvard logo.
That top line for Arizona State's been very quiet back out there here. See if they can put together a good shift.
Lackey shepherds this one aside. Bachman. And a dive by, oh, how about Marino just firing that up ice. Somehow found a streaking Zito. Crimson are on side, and this too will end up in the mesh for another face-off.
Anytime that top line is out there for Arizona State, Ted Donato wants to make sure that Adam Bachman and John Marino are shadowing them every step of the way. Now, they were at the tail end of a long shift, but he wanted them out there just to try to break it out of the zone, and they had to expend every last effort to make sure the puck got down the other end of the ice.
John Marino, one of 6 players on this 2018-19 roster for the Crimson that were selected in the NHL entry draft earlier this year. Bedini, Drury, Fox, Marino, Rathbone, and Walsh. Their rights owned by NHL teams. Still playing their collegiate hockey here at Harvard. First ever drafted player for Arizona State is starting in goal. You see him on your screen. Joey DeCord, 4th round selection by the Ottawa Senators, and His coaches are already waiting for the opportunity that he may face later this spring. Perhaps a call to the NHL is coming. For now, he wants to try and lead Arizona State to its first ever NCAA tournament. Nearly a chance on the backhand there for Dylan Holman, who kept fighting with the stick. Now Harvard on the break again. Gregoire fires one in, kicked aside by DeCord.
I think Maniscalco got back to get a piece of it.
Boy, the pressure keeps mounting from this Harvard side. Looking good on its home ice. 0-1-1 so far this year. Trying to pick up victory number 1 in the new campaign. Last time out, these Crimson grabbed a 5-2 win at Brown. That was last Saturday.
And that might have been the one that sort of broke the dam loose for this Harvard team. They know they're good. They know they can score goals and be competitive against some of the top teams in the country. It's just a matter of getting the results.
Looking for more consistency in goal, and the defense has prevented a lot of shots so far. There's a good slide and a drive that saved Casey Dornbach, another one of these outstanding freshmen for Ted Donato. Had some pace on that shot.
Now a great find again by Bedini, and this second line really is looking very good tonight for Harvard.
We're going to take another look here. What a find by Bedini, who slammed on the brakes. See Arizona State trying to skate side to side and keep up with this cross-ice feeding from the Crimson. They've changed up the angle so well. There's another step into a dangerous spot by Dornbach. There's a stick down on the ice. One of the defensemen for Arizona State, it's Tyler Bush. He is stickless. So essentially 5-on-4 here until he can get that stick back, and he does. Centering feed off a blind find from Dornbach. He's trying to whip around and serve it up to someone in front. Sharks are circling again here for the Crimson. On the wraparound, DeCord got post to post.
And nobody on the other side for Harvard, otherwise it would have been a tap-in goal.
Marino almost did it himself. Arizona State back on its heels again, and what a check along the end boards. Jack Drury, the freshman, feel his wrath as Johnny Walker tries to circumnavigate 3 Crimson on this end. Calling for a feed in the circle, nothing there. Drury's going to skate it out. But you see again, everywhere Walker goes as he smacks that stick on the ice, he's getting desperate to try and shake off some of these defenders. Good find through center ice. Chance developing here. That gets underneath the leg of Lackey, I believe. Breakout for the Crimson. Head of steam now for Shore. Lays it off. The drive goes wide. Arizona State, helter-skelter on this end of the ice. Walsh with the step around, backdoor find to Cord, made the save, bouncing puck in the crease. Arizona State flings it away. Chaotic hockey down on that end of the ice. The Crimson could very well be up 2 or 3-0.
Riley Walsh again setting everything in motion for Harvard. Just steps around a man right out at the point. And then is able to get one toward the goal. Floodstrand trying to throw his weight around in the mix.
Another cross-ice feed right to the tape of Zito. Held in by Walsh, who just turned and whipped it along. This is not a good stat for Arizona State. They have more blocked shots than shots on goal. 5-1. Backs against the wall on the road. And it's interesting, Ben, because talking with Greg Powers as this chance develops out of nowhere, Donato on the doorstep, that wiggles wide. But talking with Greg Powers leading into this game, he said early on in Arizona State's history, they had trouble mounting a serious threat on Friday night. It usually took them 1 game in a 2-game weekend series to get comfortable, and that seems to be the case right here.
Absolutely. They just they're not finding that smooth transition that they want out of the defensive end, and they're not able to establish any possession with the puck on offense.
Clifford deposited Rathbone straight into the boards, and now Arizona State will get a change. Less than 8.5 to go in the first period. 1-0 the score. A goal by Bedini on a mean feed from Riley Walsh.
And counter to that, Harvard has been very good through center ice. Now Fox able to take something off that, get it all the way down just with one smack off the boards.
Again, a miscommunication for Arizona State. Gourley overskated the puck and allowed Crimson to enter the zone. They'll clear the area and then get right back in. The forecheck there by Nathan Krusko.
Good to see Bachman out there. I think he sat out a shift. Took a hard hit a few minutes ago.
Croston trying to feed one in front. Instead, it ends up along the end boards. Croston had 26 points last year, leading scorer on this team 2 seasons ago. Haven't seen much from him yet. Back in it comes, picked up by Holman. Fires it back around to Croston. Holman down low on the goal line extended. Morocco got tossed aside at the face-off dot.
Yeah, dangerous giveaway, though. You can't give free passes away at your defensive face-off dots.
One-timer comes in. Lackey had the glove up. That was too far wide. Again, Croston just trying to set a screen in front. Kept it in the zone. And the shift continues. No, Arizona State's going to get off the ice.
That's the best shift all day, though, for Arizona State. Now, first time they've been able to play with the puck in the zone and look to create chances against Lackey.
2 programs meeting for just the 3rd time all time. No power plays, no penalties yet. Thought in many ways special teams might determine the early pace in this matchup, but Harvard has done everything it can to just stay over the top of the puck and maintain that offensive zone time.
Pass originated from just behind the center line. So icing call here.
Faceoff comes all the way back down the ice in front of DeCord. Leads the country in wins this year with 9 overall, and now we'll get a delayed penalty from behind the play as Walker got tossed aside. Crimson go to the box for the first time when we come back. Harvard in front of Arizona State, 1-0 here in the first period. An impressive 2-game series win over Michigan State in Tempe, Arizona last week allowed the Sun Devils to rack up more wins. How about this? They've already surpassed their 2017-18 win total, and they're just 1 victory shy of matching the all-time season high as a program, and we haven't even reached the month of December yet.
Well, they just get better and better year after year, and as you said, you know, it's a little bit outside your typical hockey hotbed area, but it's a huge campus and a gorgeous campus that they have in Tempe.
So a bit of a surprise, 4-on-4 hockey here. There was a hooking call that we saw against Casey Dornbach, but then Johnny Walker, who was thrown down to the ice, was whistled for 2 minutes on unsportsmanlike conduct. We mentioned that he's been frustrated so far, been flapping that stick around, and finally our 2 officials said enough is enough. I
don't know if there's an official embellishment penalty in the college game, but that may be sort of along the lines of what you're looking at for the 2-minute unsportsmanlike conduct call.
So wide open ice here for both teams, and what a check into the boards when Kuman Zis, who's done very little so far offensively, as we get a whistle here, and offsides is the call against Harvard. Mentioned the special teams, 4-on-4 typically has benefited Arizona State this year. A little extra room on the ice. This is a team that boasts a lot of speed, getting better and better in recruiting. And they're looking for players that are difference makers, and for the most part, Ben, Greg Powers has done a great job of attracting talent from Western Canada. Bit of a different cultural and weather fit in Tempe, Arizona, but players are starting to find Arizona State, and now with the number 18 ranking for the first time as a program, that profile as a hockey institution is going to get better and better. There's a commitment now financially to a new arena on campus. They're playing at a very small ice sheet, but it's an impressive home ice advantage when teams go on the road to Tempe.
Well, absolutely, and it's great to see that the university's behind the program 1,000% and committed to making it a force.
Chance in front, steered aside. Krusko picked up the big rebound. Now a new opportunity developing for Marino. Back feeds it in front. Serter Gossage got tangled up. Now he'll skate away. Arizona State just 2 shots on goal so far. Trying to generate a chance here. 4-on-4. Lackey's been very quiet on this end. Sandu whips it around to Croston. Marino lays some more lumber, getting those hands up high. Olsen chipping away, and it's going to be Floodstrand who picks it up. Lundstrand and Serter Gossage have done such a great job as captains this year. Gregoire fires it in along. 4-on-4 time is over. We're back to 5-on-5 here. Less than 5 minutes to go in the first period. Harvard 1, Arizona State nothing. Wraparound chance to Cord, chested it down. Not sure the puck was ever stopped, but it was out of the eye line of our official on the goal line extended. So, decision was made by Brian Hicks to stop the action.
Maybe get a review here.
Both teams skating over to the benches here. And our officials gathering in the circle. Perhaps a review upcoming here. All four officials standing in front of that scorer's table. Didn't see much on the doorstep there. I mentioned that the whistle came in quickly, but now we'll officially get a timeout on the ice. So with the red light on, the officials are standing around. Our official Brian Hicks peering in, trying to get an explanation from some of our scorers. This might benefit Arizona State. Their heads have been spinning here in the first period.
A little bit of an unscheduled timeout, but the teams will take advantage.
So back to work we go. Another face-off in the Arizona State zone, and that's usually good news for Harvard, and it is again. Rathbone trying to cycle the puck around. Nice step through there by Dornbach, but he lost the feed. Everything going Harvard's way so far. You mentioned they may have turned the corner last weekend in Providence against Brown. ECAC opponent, Harvard picked in the middle of the pack this year. Just playing catch up with some of these other teams that have had a little bit more packed non-conference schedule. Harvard went straight into conference play. It's nice to see a team from out west. Fired all the way along, gloved out of the air nicely. One of those captains for Arizona State, Brinson Pashnuk. You'll notice that the captaincy surrounded by the outline of the great state of Arizona. Trying to forecheck here and add a little pressure. Croston tied up there. Fox got the stick out in front. Holman was trying to get his feet underneath him and it didn't work. Now Kerfoot off the right wing. Boy, a Sun Devil stepped right in front of him from our angle in the end zone. It looked like interference, but no call from Brian Hicks.
No, just a really good hip check from Pashnuk, and Kerfoot you can see shaking up as he goes to the bench.
Ooh, he is using just one arm. Had the glove popped off, and he's getting some attention in the locker room. Already went down the tunnel. Less than 3 minutes to go here in the opening period. Jack Bedini's got the lone goal, his third of the year. Arizona State just trying to mount some offensive pressure. Could this be the time? Clifford tossed aside by Walsh. Walsh finds another man to engage. That's Dominic Garcia. Into the slot, Garcia goes. He may have been interfered with, and we get a whistle. Delayed penalty coming up against the Crimson. And we'll get a second look, or should I say our first look at the power play for Arizona State when we come back. Sun Devils down 1-0 as the first period. And we're right back to action here. No media timeout. We go straight into power play time. Arizona State trying to skate from behind here. Again, you see some of the trouble in the neutral zone, just working passes around. Walker slides it to the right wing. Finally, some entry play, but Austin Lemieux was turned away. Already 30 seconds gone in this man advantage for Arizona State. On comes Maniscalco. Fired in deep. Chasing there is Bush. And he never got to the puck. Gregoire looking for a shorthanded chance. Marino timed up the skate. Stayed onside along the blue line. At the very least, Harvard can pinch here and waste some more time.
Yeah, safe play that time by Gregoire coming out of the zone. He had Krusko out ahead of him. Didn't feel confident about the pass, though, and so just takes it himself and eats some time off the clock.
Adam Fox seemingly doing everything. One of the best power play players for the Harvard Crimson. He's out there on the penalty kill as well. Harvard still dominating on both ends of the ice. Leading in shots 12-2. Arizona State trying to pick up its first shot on goal with this power play. Once again, it's just flung in deep. Morocco the intended target, bounces over the head of Buncis on the other side.
Good angle off the glass that time from Bachman.
Very few positives here in the first 20 minutes for Arizona State. They've been out of rhythm. Zone entries have been sloppy. That puck bounced off the backside of Bunsis. The Latvian just barely kept it in the zone. There's Austin Lemieux, son of Mario Lemieux, keeping it in. That shot deflected. Good stick work by Marino. Puck fluttered along back behind the cage. Mackey shaking it off there. Final 30 seconds of the period.
3-on-2.
Marino works it toward the back post. DeCord may have overcommitted, went down in the butterfly, picked up a save anyway. Hectic moments again defensively for Arizona State. Time winding down on the Crimson. Can they get one more shot off? Fox sidesteps, shoots. DeCord is going to take it to the intermission. So Badini's goal, the lone difference so far. Harvard strikes first in this two-game weekend series against Arizona State. Crimson 1, Sun Devils nothing. We'll be back after this. You're watching the Ivy League on ESPN. East meets West, history meets innovation, and Harvard leads Arizona State 1-0 after one period. We welcome you back inside the Bright Landry Hockey Center here at Harvard University. Alongside Ben Ulcher, I'm Kevin Gale. The first period was dominated by the Crimson. They outshot the Sun Devils 14-2, and frankly, Ben, I didn't see a single scoring opportunity for Arizona State in that first 20 minutes.
No, the Sun Devils offense, highly regarded coming in, but really had some trouble getting going in that first period. Over the first 2 minutes, didn't even get over the blue line, finally able to start to establish a little bit of puck possession, but Harvard did a great job clogging them up through the neutral zone. Adam Fox doing a good job sparking transition the other way, and it led to numerous chances early on for the Crimson. That second line outstanding as well, able to take advantage of some possession time, some offensive zone face-off wins. Here you see another great opportunity on the break by Badini. Joey DeCord, excellent in that first period for the Sun Devils, but here was how Harvard broke through. Walsh, the snipe from the point, and in front, Badini able to tip it home past DeCord, and the pressure kept up from there by Harvard. Big scramble in front, and some big hitting as well as the Sun Devils tried to get themselves back into it physically.
Things got a little chippy down the stretch in that first period, but it was all Harvard. And if not for a dramatic effort by Joey DeCord in net for Arizona State, this lead could easily be 2 or 3 goals. Take a look at the stats side by side. Arizona State 0 for 1 on the power play, and we have yet to see that electric unit for Harvard that is converted 40% of the time on the man advantage. So Harvard coming off its most complete game of the season so far last Saturday, a 5-2 win at Brown. Jack Badini, our goal scorer tonight, junior Adam Fox each had a goal and an assist to lead the Crimson in that one. You look at Riley Walsh, who got the assist on that opening goal tonight. He's now got 6 points this year in his sophomore campaign, and after the loss of Ryan Donato, who's now playing in the Boston Bruins system, and some of that other outstanding senior talent last year, you can feel that this is turning into a youth movement here in Cambridge.
Oh, absolutely. This is definitely sort of I don't want to call it a rebuilding season for Harvard, but maybe sort of a reload, a reset type season for the Crimson. So many first-year and second-year players have to be integral, have to contribute in order for Harvard to have success. We've already seen it from the likes of Riley Walsh. Adam Fox is sort of that bridge player, from the older, the veteran group to now the younger group. And it's just going to be how quickly those first-year and second-year players develop into top-line talent, and how quickly they can produce those points on the score sheet that will ultimately determine where Harvard ends up this year.
Ted Donato told his team coming into this two-game home weekend against Arizona State, we have got to give up less scoring opportunities. Well, they are 1 for 1 after one period tonight. Outstanding defensive work so far by these blue liners. The forwards up front done well to pinch and throw their weight around. Second period underway, and Arizona State trying to show some physicality as well. That's Tyler Bush. Top 5 in total points last year on this team. Playing up front with Johnny Walker, the nation's leading goal scorer, who didn't manage a single shot in the first period as Lackey settles this for a faceoff.
Well, immediately already a shot on goal, and you can see Looks like the Sun Devils have a little bit of a bee under their bonnet here to start off the second period. I have to imagine it was not a friendly conversation with Greg Powers in the locker room of the intermission.
Hey, right on cue, Johnny Walker's going to get credit for a shot on goal, just trying to generate a bouncing puck and maybe pick up one of the Sun Devils crashing in front. Drury, the face-off specialist, gets tossed from the circle. Sun Devils take advantage. They win that draw quickly. And they hold this end of the ice. Joust for the puck along the near boards. Circled back behind Lackey. Where Austin Lemieux chases it around. Son of Mario. So much pressure in his hockey career. You can imagine what it means living up to that Lemieux name. Puck went centering in front. Poked along by Janssens. And it's whizzed wide of Decord. Good chance developed there for Bedini. Arizona State trying to transition defense into offense. Centering feed, spills too wide. Gruber was crashing in front. Got some Ivy League connections. His father, Chris Gruber, played college hockey at Yale from 1987 to 1991. Now we'll get a delayed penalty here. Quickly touched up, and we'll wait to see who this call is going to go against. I think it might be against Arizona State because Jack Rathbone was the man that tumbled over the top of the puck. So could this be Harvard's first power play of the night? We take another look. Looks pretty clear. And I think they're going to get Lemieux for it as well. So Austin Lemieux goes to the box from Swickley, Pennsylvania. Cross-check is the call. Slashing, excuse me, is going to be the call. Mario Lemieux, of course, played 17 seasons for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Won back-to-back Stanley Cups in 91 and 92. So a power play for Harvard as a shot fires in, and it's stopped by Decord. It came from John Marino, and this is the matchup we've been waiting for. Harvard's second-ranked power play nationwide against the best penalty kill unit in Division I.
Brock, meet hard place. And interesting to see Marino out there getting some power play time. He's not normally a guy you see out there for Harvard because they have so many other talented defensemen. Not that Marino is not an offensive weapon, but when you have guys like Fox and Walsh and Rathbone, Fox almost never leaves the ice when Harvard's on the power play.
Walsh creeps in through the circle, tried to fire one to Drury. Couldn't stop the puck, got tied up in his skates. Dornbach goes back out to the blue line. For a moment, like Arizona State may have won the draw. One-time feed in front, and that's cleared away by Maniscalco. Great chance drawn up there on the man advantage for Harvard.
Good job working the puck low around the goal. And Drury tried to set up Zerder Gossage.
Good leave behind for Zerder Gossage. Zone entry. Zerder Gossage can't corral that puck. Gourley throws his skates up against the board, trying to interrupt Dornbach. Across the dot it goes. Stepping in, Adam Fox works across ice. There's a low shot again, and Decord sees it all the way. Numbers suggest he could be one of the best goalies in college hockey this year. Competitive, athletic, and fundamentally sound.
You get a great look at the difference that Adam Fox makes and why he's a difference maker, especially on the power play. That was a good penalty kill shift from Arizona State. They jumbled the puck, knocked it loose. Well, what happens? Fox jumps on the loose puck and creates a scoring chance for Walsh.
Fox, a preseason all-league team selection in the ECAC. No surprise there. Already got a 5-point game to his credit this year. It came on October 27th at Dartmouth, and what a shootout that was. With less than 50 seconds remaining on this man advantage. First power play tonight for Harvard. Kerfoot sends it back out to the blue line. Give and go there. Marino backhands it across the line, and Rathbone lost it into the neutral zone. Offsides go the Crimson.
A little bit of a different look on that second power play unit. You get Marino out there, who doesn't see a lot of special teams time with the man advantage, and Kerfoot, kind of the same thing, doesn't factor in on the power play a whole heck of a lot.
Kerfoot also scored a goal in that 7-6 loss at Dartmouth at the end of October. Familiar name here at Harvard. After an impressive training camp with the Avalanche last year, Kerfoot's brother, Alexander, was actually invited on to the main roster for the 2017-18 season. His debut with the Avalanche, played on a line with Mac Duchene. How about that for a debut?
He's been impressive ever since getting to the NHL level, and he's not going back down anytime soon.
Harvard in front 1-0 here. Time ticking away on this power play. One last opportunity to generate a scoring chance. Drury got turned around. Dornbach works it right back to him. Pass interrupted. Wilson slaps it off the side glass. And here come the Sun Devils. Up goes Croston. Did somebody go with them? Lackey had the angle closed off. Bodies go flying. Power play is over. 5-on-5 hockey. What a bullet pass. Walker couldn't generate a shot. And the Crimson pick it right off his stick. Defense to offense again. And it's prodded along. Crimson will make a change. And Escalso trying to take advantage. Pass was misguided though. Walker fighting in front of his own bench. Sun Devils gained the zone, but only momentarily. Crimson have been the faster, more aggressive team. Used more physicality, they've generated more shots. Hard to find anything that the Crimson have done wrong. And Lackey has been relatively untested at the other end. Whizzing shot goes wide. Came off the stick of Bachman.
Another penalty coming up on Arizona State.
So Lackey gets off the ice for an extra skater. 6-on-5 for the short time. Marino sidesteps. Feed at the top of the slot. Zerter Gossage pulled it back. Ooh, look for the toe drag. Now Marino
just
from the right wing.
Stick.
Floodstrand, where's he gonna go? Back to the goal. And it's touched up by Arizona State, but just barely. Slash again. So Harvard's going to go back on the power play as Tyler Bush skates to the box.
It was interesting, Kevin. Arizona State had some great momentum. I thought to start the second period, they were able to start working the cycle, keeping possession in the offensive zone a little bit. And now they're having to play on the penalty kill. I know it's a strength, but it does afford Harvard the opportunity to get that momentum, play with the puck in the offensive zone, and it can kind of turn the tide back to more of what we saw in the first period.
Tyler Bush, originally committed to Ohio State, opted to go out west and build a program with Arizona State. So Harvard right back on the man advantage. Shot and a score! Adam Fox snipes another power play goal. His second of the year. He's got 3 goals in total. It's 2-0 Harvard.
Well, I think DeCourt is still wondering how the heck this got through. Fox just waiting forever. I mean, that's putting the puck in an area the size of a mail slot. That's unbelievable.
He had the angle, he had the glove up, and couldn't make the save. That's one of the best goaltenders in America, and Fox just beat him on the short side. Unbelievable.
That's one of the best shooters in America in Adam Fox, though. You know, Drury was there, but there really wasn't much of a screen. I thought DeCourt got a good look at it. And that's, you know, that is marksman level shooting from Adam Fox.
So the second best power play unit in the country cashes in. 1 for 2 tonight. And that average is only going to rise from 41%. Princeton, the only team in the country that's been better on the man advantage this year. They've scored nearly 43% of the time on the power play. Those are electric numbers through the early going.
Saw him score twice with the man advantage here against the Crimson.
So what else is new? Adam Fox on the score sheet. Team leader with 10 assists this year. He's now got 13 points in total. And if you're Arizona State, this is a scary 2-0 deficit. What can the Sun Devils do to flip the script? Greg Powers has seen so much growth in his program. They have yet to really be tested like this and out-muscled on the road.
Well, they got to find a way to get that top line going. Even when Walker hasn't been scoring, he has to be a danger every time he sets foot on the ice.
Turn and fire by Clifford, knocked down again by Harvard. They've been so good along the boards, pinching and really holding zones and keeping Arizona State off the puck. Michael Floodstrand will skate off here. Previously played for Edina High School in Minnesota, where he was captain in 2015-16. He knows quite a few guys on the ice tonight. This has been a little bit of a recruiting pitch for Edina High School back in Minnesota, because a lot of those prospects have ended up here in Division I. Timeout on the ice, 2-0 Harvard leads. Hard to beat this Crimson Blue line offensively this year. Nearly 5 points per game, and that tally's only going to keep climbing after Adam Fox cashed in.
Climbing tonight, making 9 goals and 18 assists. Riley Walsh setting up the first Harvard score of the game.
Chance comes in quickly, and DeCord just barely settled the puck. Krusko was chipping away in front. Already with 2 assists this year, looking for his first goal, and off the quick face-off win, you see that Harvard generates that offense like it's a microwave. Out of nowhere, a win, a shot, and that keeps any good goaltender on his toes.
Good little poke check that time, I thought, by DeCord. Reached out with a paddle to kind of knock Krusko a little bit off balance.
We were talking about it during the intermission. DeCord reads the angle so well, comes out and challenges shooters, and frankly, Ben, he's been forced into that tonight because Arizona State's defense has been back on its heels.
Yeah, he's certainly not at fault for either goal given up.
Walker just fires wildly in front, and nothing comes of it. Serter Gossage skates it out of trouble.
On the first score, Bedini able to get right in front. No resistance from the Arizona State defense, and so he's able to tip one through DeCord. And on the second one, DeCord, we saw, was in great position. Just a better shot by Adam Fox.
Bedini and Fox, the goal scorers thus far. One in the first, one in the second. 2-0 Harvard in front. I'm Kevin Gale, joined by Ben Ulcher. Watching live. The Ivy League on ESPN. First of 2 games this weekend. Chance in front. DeCord made the save. One time in the slot. Drury missed the wide open cage.
Wow. And then he can make saves like that too.
Best of the night, perhaps best of the year. DeCord has stopped 17 shots. And that was just pure reaction. We mentioned the athleticism earlier. Just flinging his body in front of that golden opportunity.
Wants to put on a show in front of his family and friends.
Up comes Croston, and we'll get a delayed penalty again. Stopped near center ice. John Marino ended up on his backside. So interference will be the call. Stepping in to make that decision, Peter Fiola. Check to see who's going to the box.
Yeah, Marino, you had it right. And that's going to be a tough one because he's a valuable guy on the penalty kill for Harvard. There's an opportunity for the Sun Devils to kind of steal some of that momentum back here.
Just the second penalty this year for Marino, a local product, Northeastern Massachusetts. A lot of national and international flavor on this ice tonight, especially for Arizona State. Expanding their recruiting footprint because, as we mentioned earlier, they don't have a conference footprint to build from. We talked about some conferences like the NCHC as Lackey toe pokes that aside. There were some rumblings a couple years back that Arizona State may be an option for the Big Ten as they expanded. Obviously, the Big Ten opted for Notre Dame first. But Arizona State staying patient. Greg Powers told us leading up to this game, look, we're happy with the independent status right now. We love picking our own schedule, trying to buy that at-large bid into the NCAA tournament. But when the time is right and the offer is best, we'll be open to any opportunity nationwide. Lackey gobbles it up quick.
Well, and it may not even be one of the established hockey conferences. You look at sort of the growth of the game around the college level. It wouldn't be that big of a surprise to see some of the other Pac-12 schools perhaps get involved. You know, you think of a school like Stanford, who has a similar profile to a school like Harvard and some of the other schools around the Ivy League, and that they have a great number of teams across their Department of Athletics. You know, maybe it's not unthinkable that Stanford could one day have a hockey team.
Just in case you think Arizona State's taking it easy, they have the second hardest schedule in the nation so far, according to RBI, and they just fired one home. What a snipe from Buncis. The extra skater playing on that 4th line tonight, and he cuts that deficit in half. 2-1 the score. Arizona State's on the board.
And their fans are back in it as well. A few folks who made the trip, I'm sure several members of the DeCord family, happy to see Buncis help his goalie out there.
Huh. That looked like something out of the Harvard playbook there. Win the draw, fire it home quick, or the goalie can react. So for Bunsis, the Jelgava, Latvia native, that's his third goal this year in 11 games played. All of a sudden, it feels like a new game as Walker skated that in too quick. Sun Devils were offsides. Walker seemed a little bit agitated tonight. He's forced a few things, and when you're the leading scorer in the country and you have yet to generate a scoring option, perhaps that's what he needed to see. Maybe some belief that someone else on this ice can start tipping the scales in the Sun Devils' favor.
Well, he actually went scoreless last weekend when they swept Michigan State on that trip, so it's, not unheard of to see Walker held off the score sheet. It's been rare for the most part this year, but it shows that this Sun Devils team has more than just one player at their disposal.
So we'll get a stoppage here, and the faceoff will come all the way back down the ice in front of Lackey. Just the 8th shot on goal he's faced tonight. Arizona State, for long stretches of this game, had more blocked shots than shots on goal. So for the first time tonight, Arizona State also picks up a power play goal, just like Harvard, 1 for 2 on the man advantage. They wasted no time whatsoever, chipping away in front. Lackey dove at the puck, and that was a brave maneuver because Tyler Bush was there to try and elevate the puck home.
All it takes is the one power play goal, and all of a sudden Arizona State has found itself here, Kevin.
Well, you said it.
They're looking like a team that is a threat every time they step out, no matter which line is on the ice.
And you're right, you can start hearing those Sun Devils that are downstairs just below our broadcast booth. What a nice contingent here of Arizona State alums and fans in the Northeast area. So rarely do the Sun Devils come out to this part of the country in any sport.
And even despite giving up the 2 power play chances and the power play goal, they're out shooting Harvard here in the second period.
Face-off win for the Crimson. Head of steam up ice for Dornbach. He's got help, but just missed Drury on the back post. Arizona State got back quickly. 3-on-2 developing. Circumnavigating through the trouble is Gruber. The puck never generated a real chance in front.
Now a 3-on-2 the other way.
Oh, this is wide open hockey. Fun to watch. Fox couldn't settle it on his tape. Dornbach smashed against the boards. Bush pushes it along, but Sun Devils can't catch up. The right wing glass for the Crimson. They'll get a quick change here. One man stays on the ice. Shore got the stick up high. Wilson lost his stick. Shore works it back out to the blue line. Cross ice go the Crimson. Now Shore through the circle. Big shot comes through. Floodstrand deflected it wide.
Unintentionally so, hit off his back.
Kerfoot pressed into his own bench.
Good to see him back. He was shaken up at the end of that first period.
Like an apparent hand issue as he shook that glove off on his way to the locker room, and another sloppy entry for Arizona State. Offsides for the Sun Devils. 9:53 remaining in the second period. Arizona State's on the board. 2-1 the score. Harvard in front. A banner week for Arizona State men's hockey, ranked for the first time ever in the USCHO coaches poll. They came in at number 18.
Hoping that it won't be a quick weekend for them in the poll, that they might drop back out. At the very least, it would probably take a split with Harvard to stay in the poll. Obviously, it's going to depend on what a lot of the rest of the teams in their area do this weekend as well.
Arizona State has been playing hockey for 117 less years than the Harvard Crimson. Started their program back in 1898. Arizona State arrived here on Wednesday. They were taking a lot of pictures of the walls full of plaques and trophies and NHL players that came here to represent the Harvard Crimson. And history doesn't mean much on this ice tonight. Just 5 years ago, Arizona State was a club hockey program under Greg Powers. I asked him about this number 18 ranking. He said none of these players came here to brag to their kids and grandkids about being ranked number 18. They want more. They trailed 2-0. Now look like the more dangerous team here in the second period. A turn and fire just a few inches wide for Jake Clifford, the senior, who's been through some dark days and a lot of hard travel through the first couple years for the Sun Devils, and it's paying dividends now. Get aside to Janssens. Just a sophomore, a big body with a big shot as well. Bodies go spilling there. Zito got caught up in the wash. Murphy battling for the puck. Arizona State wins it. Shot comes in from the point. We mentioned Janssens with the big shot, and he delivered right on time. Backing up the play for a second entry here for Arizona State. Little toe drag. Holman missed his target down low. Cross ice feed. Janssens picks it off the end boards. Harvard picks it up. Another hard hit behind the play. Good body control there by Drury, staying out of trouble. Dornbach catching up. Bedini clears little space. It's poked along there, no icing here. Waved off on the dump and chase. Bedini with a goal here, just trying to work it back out to the blue line. But it was wide of the target, Adam Bachman.
Yeah, as you said, Bedini did a great job negating that icing there. Now that time the teammates out of sync. Bedini was looking for that long cross ice pass, and Dornbach cut it off, thinking he was negating another icing by deflecting it into the zone.
Walker's offsides again. Took a wicked pass off the boards. He was the catalyst for the hot start this year. It was a balanced attack with scoring coming from all four lines. You mentioned that Walker didn't account for a single point last weekend. He took back-to-back wins over Michigan State, a rebuilding Big Ten program. Over the last 24 games now, dating back to last year, Walker has tallied 23 goals. That's the most by any college hockey player at Division I during that time. Here comes Jay Walk through center ice. Punched along. Goes up against Bachman. Crimson skated away again. Not for lack of paying a price. Arizona State starting to get into the check battle back and forth. It's Harvard dominating in physicality early. Now Arizona State looking more comfortable now in the second period. They've nearly evened the shot count, 19-13. That stick was slapped right out of the hands of Colton Kerfoot, and that's going to draw a penalty. Chance developed there for Harvard for a second shot coming in. Fox was slapping his stick on the ice, but it's touched up by Arizona State, and the clock will stop. 6:36 to go. And Harvard's going back on the power play.
Well, Sun Devils playing with fire a little bit here. Risk of sort of allowing Harvard to take some momentum again. There you see that's an easy slash call. And just clamp right down on the stick. Come on, Zis.
They've moved him into the middle of the ice. Fourth round pick. The Calgary Flames in last year's draft.
Maybe future teammates with Adam Fox.
There could be something to that. Tempers flaring tonight between these potential Flames teammates down the line. No love lost between these two teams, even though they've only met twice before. It was back during that 2016 two-game weekend out in Arizona.
Say half this Harvard lineup wasn't on the roster then.
Every night is a different battle. Shot comes in to Cord, saw it all the way. 30 seconds gone in the Harvard power play. So far tonight, 1 for 2 on the man advantage. Best unit in the country, deflected and scored. Off the rebound, Drury dumps it in. His second goal of the year, and the Harvard lead is back to 2 goals.
Well, perfect execution again on the power play. You feel a little bit bad for Josh Maniscalco here. Zerner Gossage just treated him like a dummy, just fired off of him right in front of the net because he knew putting it off the defenseman would dent the puck and give Drury a chance to beat Decord to it loose right at the top of the crease.
Drury has been such a multi-dimensional player for Ted Donato this year. Played on the power play, on the penalty kill. Had an outstanding game at Yale, which can be tough for an 18-year-old when you work your way into that rivalry. Harvard-Yale, of course, those two schools getting set to meet at Fenway Park tomorrow in football. Kickoff set for noon on ESPN2. So a national spotlight game for the game. We get a stoppage here as Greg Powers, the head coach for Arizona State, is having a conversation with a couple of our officials. So 3-1 the score, 5:58 remaining in the second period. Harvard power play getting better and better as the season goes on.
I'm trying to think what he might be asking about. Play definitely wasn't offsides. Fox held it in on the attempted clearance. Nothing illegal about firing a shot intentionally off a defenseman in order to generate a loose puck. You know, there wasn't an obvious injury to Maniscalco on the play.
Maniscalco and Adam Fox both played together on the U.S. National Team Development Program junior squad as Lackey sees that one pop over his head. Lackey has been a goalie with that National Team Development Program as well the last 2 years.
Well, so far, that special teams battle, we were interested to see which way it was going to go. Harvard 2, Arizona State nothing right now.
And once again, that's against the best penalty kill unit in the country. Backhand chance. Lackey watched it spill wide as Harvard skates it up ice. On the break, Badini. Oh, look at the speed. And then Gregoire couldn't knock that puck down in front. Skates through the check from Gorley. The side glass it goes. A race develops. Holman couldn't catch up for Arizona State. Harvard's going to slow this down.
Impressive take by Badini there, just setting the edges, determined to go to goal.
See how quick he got up the ice? That was something else. The old Greenwich, Connecticut native already with the goal tonight. He made it 1-0. There's a one-timer to Cord, kept the puck alive. Trying to spring Arizona State 3-on-2 if the Sun Devils hurry. This might not be enough. Crossed in back behind the cage. And Rathbone picked it up. No panic from the Harvard defense. They skated back quickly and effectively as that check was up high from Dominic Garcia. No call in front of the Sun Devils bench. But now we will get it. High sticking will be the call. Let's step aside. 4:17 remaining in the second period. Harvard's lead is back to 2 here on the Ivy League on ESPN. Everything's been elite tonight about the Harvard Crimson power play unit. 2 for 3 on the man advantage.
Now 2 goals on 3 chances. We were wondering which was going to give a little bit. Was it going to be the Harvard power play being shut down by that Arizona State penalty kill? Or would the Crimson find a way through? And so far the answer has been they've found a way through thanks to a great shot by Adam Fox so far. And a great setup by Louis Zerder-Gossage and quick hands from Jack Drury.
Puck was batted down with a high stick heading into the media timeout. So we remain 5-on-5 as we creep toward the 4-minute mark remaining here in the second period. Crimson carried a 1-0 lead into the second. The lead is up to 3-1 now. Wide open spaces here in the second 20 minutes. And a back and forth battle as both teams have sprung defense into offense quickly. Battle for the puck. Drury trying to reach around Pashnuk, who lost his stick and then was just kicking it around like a soccer ball. One of 2 Pashnuks on this team. Steen and Brinson, the brothers from Bonnyville, Alberta. Now playing out in the desert, Dominic Garcia got a snow cone there when he was down on the ice. Alternate captain watches that shot come in straight into the glove of DeCord. Good reaction time by the native of Washington, D.C. I was asking Greg Powers to compare Joey DeCord to maybe a professional that can handle the puck and generate offense like he can. He said, how about Ron Hextall? That would be a great example. And Hextall, of course, had a tremendous NHL career. DeCord may have a similar option coming up sooner than later.
That might be high praise. Hextall's one of the best puck handlers in terms of a goalie that you'll ever see. He was one of the first guys you would see shoot and score on the other team's empty net as a goalie.
Now guys at the highest level are really starting to fill up the stat sheet in that regard. They're such good multi-dimensional players now. Why not just fire it down the ice?
You don't see it happen quite as often with the new trapezoid and those rules that have come into effect, but you still see one take a crack every now and then.
The other name that kept coming to my mind before the trapezoid limited where they could go behind the net, Archers Urbe. He would skate down into the corner and drive his coaches with the San Jose Sharks and Carolina Hurricanes nuts. That is a dangerous spot for your goalie, but gotten bigger, stronger, and better with the stick handle, so the court is given a lot of freedom here. We'll get a stoppage just behind Lackey and another face-off upcoming. All systems go for Harvard tonight, looking for its first home win on the new campaign.
We talked about that win at Brown last weekend. Might have been the one to sort of allow Harvard to breathe a sigh of relief after what had been a tough start. Now it's a program that they've had some success against, and now you come into sort of a team that you don't see very often. Only the second time you're ever playing them in a series. And you know they're a good team, so you know it's going to be a good test, and maybe an opportunity to sort of reset the mechanism a little bit.
Arizona State has played right into the hands of Harvard as well. Greg Powers said over and over, we have got to stay out of the penalty box. They have not done so far. 3 penalties, 2 power play goals for the Crimson. For a backdoor feed, that puck batted all around in the slot. There have been so many white sweaters in front of Lackey. Sometimes you wonder if maybe that clogs the works in front of your goalie who wants to see those shots come in clean. Harvard is taking the Sun Devils out of the play over and over again as the Cord's going to stop this puck for a face-off. No pass or assist this time on a goal for little Ron Hextall.
Yeah, so far a much better second period so far, but the transition game has been much cleaner, much more smooth today for Harvard.
Gotta remember, these Crimson scored 5 power play goals in the season opener at Dartmouth back on October 27th. That was the most in a game by Harvard since 2006. Number that's going to be tough to top. And we're going to get a grab there by Kerfoot and a penalty called right away. Pretty simple to spot. Dominic Garcia took the brunt of it.
Kerfoot pleading his case, but he's not going to win the battle. I think the official was willing to give him a little leeway at the start because it looks like their sticks just get caught up together. We'll see if we can get a better angle of it here. Here you see Kerfoot. They're just kind of tied up equipment off the start, and then as Garcia is able to separate Kerfoot, he's trying to keep a hold of his stick, but as he does so, he inadvertently grabs and spins Garcia, and that's why you get the holding call.
Arizona State back on the power play, 1 for 3 tonight. And the puck side to side here.
This would be huge if they could get a goal here near the end of the period.
Remaining time on the penalty and the game clock nearly even, so should be 5-on-4 for the rest of the period if Harvard can hold off the Sun Devils, who go offsides again. We've seen that at least a handful of times tonight where there isn't a ton of pressure and Arizona State just gets out of rhythm on the zone entry.
I mean, that time Michael Fletstrand's almost like a one-man penalty kill. He muscled 2 Sun Devils back out of the zone, and as they're trying to re-enter, he gets back into the play from behind, forces it along the blue line as opposed to north-south, and that forces the offsides call.
Arizona State's been such a smooth team this year, 9-3 overall. They've won 3 games in a row. To say they've been perfect so far. Been nights where the offense has gone quiet, but in the first period, it looked like an out-of-body experience. Maybe some of the talent took a little bit longer to make the trip cross-country. Much better here in the second, still trailing 3-1.
Not a lot of life to this power play early on.
Good physicality again on the penalty kill. Fighting along the boards went Krusko. Now Lackey looked behind him, but kept the puck in front. Bounced off the skate of Kumanzis.
Somehow Tyler Bush left unprotected.
Shot comes in, nearly deflected in front. Oh, a golden opportunity. Maniscalco uncorked one from the top. Time ticking away on the Sun Devils. Maniscalco. Garcia. Centering feed, that's denied. Maniscalco thought about another shot. Creeping in come the Sun Devils. That got behind Lackey. Goal line extended. Body goes flying in front. That's Adam Fox out there on the penalty kill as well. Down to the last 10 seconds of the second period. Scalzo wants it again. And he lost it over the blue line. And that's going to take us into the second intermission. The power play ends and it's 3-1 Harvard after 2 periods. So some growth for the Sun Devils in that frame, but the 2-goal lead will take us into the third. Harvard 3, Arizona State 1. Stay with us. We'll be back. You're watching the Ivy League on ESPN. 40 minutes in the books, still 20 minutes to go here at the Bright Landry Hockey Center in Cambridge. Harvard 3, Arizona State 1. We welcome you back in the broadcast booth. I'm Kevin Gale, joined by Ben Altscher. And Ben, we build this matchup as a battle of special teams, and so far, that's the story. Harvard 2 for 3 on the power play. Arizona State just 1 for 3.
Well, absolutely. That is the story of this one. It's Harvard's power play, finding a way to have success against the best penalty kill in the nation, and it all starts with Adam Fox. He's the quarterback. He gets it done, and as we saw, he can shoot it pretty darn well.
Oh man, this snipe from Adam Fox, you'll see in the second period highlights, one of the best goal-scoring opportunities out of nowhere.
Arizona State able to establish a little pressure early on, but then taking back-to-back penalties, and Fox taking advantage. Look at that. You don't even see it go over the glove of Joey Decord there. And from there, Harvard able to build momentum. Decord made a couple more miraculous saves. The Sun Devils able to strike back with a power play tally of their own. But again, the Sun Devils just taking too many penalties. You said Greg Powers, their head coach, not wanting to let that be a factor. And so far tonight, it has been.
Jack Drury put Harvard back in front by 2 goals. 3-1 the score. The lone tally on the other side for Philips Bunsis. The Latvian picked up his 3rd goal of the year, and a normally electric Arizona State offense has been held to just 1 goal on 18 shots tonight. In fact, they looked a whole lot better in the second period. They generated less than 5 shots in the first period, so they found some answers in the second 20-minute stanza. And now Greg Powers and his team coming out of the room will try and dig their way out of this 2-goal hole. First of 2 games this weekend here in Cambridge between the Sun Devils and Crimson, and we're down to the last 20 minutes. Around it goes for Lackey. He's made 17 saves tonight. Consistency the key for Ted Donato in goal. Don't forget, they have Cameron Gornett, St. Louis product, available as well. Of course, Gornett had such an outstanding first career start last year in the Beanpot semis against BC. Stopped 30 shots to earn his first career win in overtime as we get an icing here. So there is an option behind Lackey, and I asked Ted Donato to try and tip his hand heading into this weekend. I said, will we see multiple goaltenders? He said, look, every night we're going to send whoever we believe can give us the best chance to win that night, and so far so good for Michael Lackey.
Well, this has been one of the better performances of the season so far for Lackey, but to be honest, Kevin, I don't really think he's been tested a whole heck of a lot. You give up the power play goal, but really the defense for Harvard is what has stood out tonight. They haven't allowed Arizona State to really get too many quality scoring chances.
Lackey's been around, an Ann Arbor Pioneer High School alum. Out in Michigan, attended Phillips Exeter Academy, and calls Washington, D.C. his hometown. At home between the pipes tonight. Arizona State trying some forecheck here, but it's picked up and skated out of harm's way by Frederick Gregoire.
A good anticipation there by Gregoire.
Right back to Walker, though, looking for a shooting lane and slapped it off the backside of a Crimson. I think that was Bachman who was going down.
It was actually Marino, got his skates right in the way, and that's what I'm talking about. The defense anticipating well what Arizona State wants to do with the puck, and they're able to get bodies, sticks, skates in the way and not let anything through to Lackey.
And to your point, they work well as a unit. There were so many bodies in front there. It was just a matter of who it was going to be.
That time it's Fox throwing the playoff line.
Dornbach tried to feed it up ice with a backhand pass. Now it's right back to the Crimson. Drury on the break, already with the goal. There's a glove save. Fox denied on the short side this time.
So going to pick that corner once again. Decord had the glove out and ready.
Fox is unafraid to shoot from the tough angles, and boy, if he gets that puck up just a little bit more, who knows, it could be his second of the night. Saw Harvard on Twitter earlier tonight throwing out the question, Adam Fox for Hobie? The junior D-man, it's a bit of an uphill climb playing off the blue line. It's tough to generate enough offensive stats to win that award, as a defenseman is Puck is deflected up into the mesh by DeCord, so we'll get another face-off. But Fox is really going to fill up the resume this year, no doubt. He's going to be one of the best goal scorers in the ECAC and beyond.
He's already a two-time All-American, so the ceiling can't really get much higher. Hobie's about as high as you can go.
Not just the puck skills, but the elusiveness. It's hard to track him down. Here's a centering shot that nearly found the top bar behind DeCord. Long toe drag there by Jack Drury. 2 goals already this year for the Winnetka, Illinois native. Winnetka, the Chicago suburb where Home Alone was shot. I think that's important to know, especially as Christmas time draws near. Chance now for the Sun Devils, breaking out here, but picked up well from behind by Riley Walsh. Centering in front, and Lackey knocks down that bouncing puck. Croston, I'm not sure ever saw it.
No, he was the intended recipient. A nice quick spin around backhand pass by Dylan Holman. Just unable to connect, and that's sort of a microcosm of what Arizona State's been going through all day.
Croston, another one of these Phoenix, Arizona natives who invested in Greg Powers in his program. There's a very specific recruitment pitch for this school. They're selling a new brand, a different kind of lifestyle. And a lot of these kids are enjoying their time in the desert. That's one of the hardest shots we've seen tonight, but it missed everything.
I mean, the recruiting pitch shouldn't be that hard. It's Tempe in January. That's the selling point. It's warm, it's nice, it's beautiful, and you get to play a sport you love.
And bring your golf clubs.
Exactly.
Back down in Arizona, it's really the summer, the only time you can't play golf, but that's a great time to be at the rink on a hot day. It's maybe 115 degrees outside. Get inside and cool off. Work on your game. Arizona State investing in its athletic programs across the board. They put some money into Sun Devil Stadium, where Herm Edwards is in his first season as head coach for the Sun Devils football program. Picked up an upset win over Michigan State earlier this year from the Big Ten. So Michigan State would love to avoid Arizona State for a while, especially after that hockey sweep last weekend down in Arizona.
I was going to say, are they establishing some sort of new cross-country rivalry there?
Who knows? We mentioned it earlier. The day might come that Arizona State and Michigan State are in the same hockey conference. Never say never. But the freshmen out on this ice tonight for Arizona State represent essentially the first ever true recruiting class for Greg Powers, now in his 4th year managing a Division I program. And we're going to get a penalty here, touched by the Sun Devils, and they're going back to the box.
And I'll tell you where this all started, Kevin. It all started off the Harvard bench. Ted Donato with a late substitution. He saw that top line out there for Arizona State. He says, let me get my top group out there, my experience line. Zerter Gossage, Krusko, and Gregoire hop over the boards. They win the faceoff. Zerter Gossage, some hard work, and he draws the penalty.
Brett Gruber will sit for 2 minutes. He's called for the trip.
And that's the home ice advantage that Harvard has, being able to make that last line change to be able to see what the other team is putting on the ice.
And they're going to send another Sun Devil to the box here. Anthony Croston added to the sin bin.
Yeah, this has got to be for something presumably Croston said.
I mentioned earlier that tempers were flying for the Sun Devils at the end of the first period.
So it's still going to stay 5-on-4. Still going to stay 5-on-4, so that might just be a 10-minute. But still, that's going to be a loss. You know, Croston going to be out until basically the final 7-8 minutes of this game. That's another guy who you look to for offense from time to time.
He's got 8 points this year. He's going to have a while to sit and think about what he did. Less than 17 minutes to go. It's a one-man advantage for now in favor of the Crimson. We're 2 for 4 on the power play tonight. Already 2 goals in front. You've got to think a third would really add the pressure on the Sun Devils. Just trying to skate it out and waste some time is Tyler Bush, but it's given away.
Dangerous there by Bush, pulled up right in front of his own bench. Don't want to risk taking a too many men on the ice penalty.
Hot shot to Dominic Garcia. A nice 2-line pass. Didn't keep it on his tape. Fox skates it in. Got a stick on the ice, and we'll wait for an official announcement on that second penalty. 2 minutes for tripping, the official call. On the first penalty, Croston called for unsportsmanlike conduct. Shorthanded chance developing for the Sun Devils, no. Miscommunication at the blue line. Garcia wanted to zig, and the other Sun Devils zagged. Fox dragging, shooting, that's wide. Oh, you see how patient he was, and now we'll get another penalty. This time it's going against the Crimson.
Should be a trip on Zerder Gossage. Just got his stick caught in the skates there. And this will even up the manpower for a little bit.
Well, it's getting a little crowded down in those penalty boxes now. Zerder Gossage will sit. 4-on-4 for the next 27 seconds. And with 15:48 to go here in the first period, both teams will gather around their benches. In fact, we're going to get a stick delivery over to the Harvard bench. One of the Sun Devils took that stick that ended up on the goal line, extended near DeCord all the way back to the bench. Now it's been handed over to the Crimson. So we'll get a face-off in front of Lackey here. Two minutes on the trip. Zerder Gossage goes away. The top returning scorers for this team. 7 of the top 10 scorers from the Crimson last year. Back this time around, we mentioned the youth movement, but a lot of goal scoring on this ice. Returns from last season. Of course, it's tough to replace Hobie Baker finalist Ryan Donato, coach's son, playing in the pro ranks. It found some answers with the Providence Bruins. Ted Donato went down to see his son Ryan play on Sunday for the Bruins in the AHL. Managed a couple goals, and he hopes to be back at TD Garden sooner than later with the big club in Boston.
Now they're going through some injuries right now. They might need him back before long.
The Arizona State power play is over, at least the first 2-minute infraction. 1:13 to go on this man advantage for the Sun Devils. 5-on-4. Trying to thread a pass through was Bush. Zone held in here. Bush quarterbacking from behind that goal line. A little tricky on that pass. One-timer. That's off the mark.
Floodstrain got a piece of it out high. He's been dynamic on the penalty kill today.
Crimson have put so many bodies in front of Lackey. All they've done is disrupt the Sun Devils. There's the feet in front. Walker saw his shot. Blocker saved by Lackey, and he picks up another stop. Face-off upcoming to Lackey's right, and he gets 2 saves on that flurry.
Well, best sequence of the day there from Michael Lackey. Able to make back-to-back stops, but for Tyler Bush, had an opening there for a moment as both Bachman and Floodstrand went out to challenge the shot coming in from the point, and I thought Bush really had an opportunity kind of to turn towards goal there, maybe set up a quick 2-on-1 out in front. Forced Lackey to make a decision. Bush elected to lay back and try to feed it out toward the slot.
And Lackey didn't waver. As the leading goal scorer in the country, Johnny Walker just dragged that toe, held that puck forever. 11 goals, 17 points, tops in Division I hockey. Set a record last year for Arizona State with 17 goals in all. Final 30 seconds of the power play. Harvard getting physical. Marino stopped that puck. Can he catch up? He gets thrown down. Bush from behind the cage, underneath the leg of an official. Sun Devils creeping toward goal. Bush again on the goal line, extended, left behind by Kumanzis.
Great timing on the hit by Marino there.
Walker trying to make so much happen. Step for step with him is Shore. Bush flings it back out. To the top it goes. And Escalso trying to change the angle. Power play's over. Sun Devils go 5-on-5. Lackey cleared that one aside. So Gossage wins it back for Harvard. Another power play goes begging. 1 for 4 are the Sun Devils tonight. Long skate for Dornbach, the freshman. He's got fresh legs underneath him. Off the change, Arizona State whips it cross ice. Breaks checked there by Morocco. Relatively quiet this evening. Through center ice come the Sun Devils. Good feed. Lackey kicks that up into the mesh. We'll get a stoppage with 13:08 to go here in the third period. Harvard 3, Arizona State 1. East meets West, easy for me to say, here in Cambridge. Hey, take a look at Harvard, picked in the top 5 across the ECAC this year, but one of just 3 teams along with Cornell and Princeton to pick up a first place vote.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. The ECAC always very competitive, always tough to shake out. You kind of have to get into the teeth of the conference season, January and February, to really get a sense of where everybody slots in.
Tonight is actually the first non-conference game for the Crimson. They're 1-2-2 in ECAC play so far. It's good for 8th place out of 12 teams. 3-1 the score here. Harvard in front of Arizona State. And we do have confirmation that Anthony Croston was charged with the 10-minute misconduct penalty, so he's gone for a while.
And should be back in about 5 minutes or so with about 7 or 8 minutes left to go in the period.
Sun Devils missing one of their top point getters. Long skate here for Brinson Pashnuk. Scored against MSU last weekend, and now we'll get a whistle and another penalty spotted.
Yeah, it's a boarding penalty. Tough hit taken by Bush. He's trying to separate the puck, and Marino just comes in. And you know, it's easy to say, if you see the numbers of the guy in front of you, you can't drill him like this. And it's actually R.J. Murphy who came in with the hit. So that's a little bit of a break for Harvard in the sense that if it's Marino who takes that penalty, obviously he's one of your core penalty killers. Murphy centering that fourth line tonight. You know, he's not a guy who would be out there on the penalty kill anyway, so that the biggest loss for Harvard.
If it was a youth hockey game, RJ would have seen that little stop sign between the numbers. So 2 minutes for the fourth line center. What can the Sun Devils do on the man advantage? Now 1 for 5 tonight.
Now this is now their third chance with a power play since going down by 2. They had a chance right at the end of the second period. They had one a few minutes ago, not quite a full power play, but another one here. They have to try to break through at some point in order to try to finally put some pressure on Lackey and the rest of the Harvard defense.
Arizona State entered this game top 25 nationwide in power play.
Right now it kind of feels like they can't get out of their own way.
Shot comes in, Lackey gobbles it up. Brinson Pashnuk just trying to generate a second chance on deflection, but Lackey fielded it clean, and he's been up to the test tonight. We mentioned it earlier that he hasn't been tested quite a bit, but when they've needed him, Lackey's been there.
Yeah, able to see that one all the way out from the point. That's not a bad decision either, though, by Pashnuk, because previously the power play had kind of gotten jumbled for Arizona State. You know, pucks bouncing around between Lemieux's skates. It's being whacked out along the wall. Just sort of reset things, fire on goal, and get a face-off.
Ben Donato said he wants to see more playing time for both of his goalies. Doesn't want to make any long-term decisions yet. Still early in the campaign. Just game number 6 overall for the Crimson. They're in the driver's seat, 3-1.
Oh, what a beautiful poke check there by Fox to free it up for Gregoire. That's the thing about Fox. You know, he overwhelms you with the offensive numbers, but he's solid in his own zone. He's not the biggest guy. He's not going to throw anybody off the puck, but he battles, he competes, and he's very smart, very sound with his skating and his stick, and very sound positionally, and that's what makes him a good defender.
And he's not a selfish player either. Makes other players around him better, offensively and defensively. And he just fires that one all the way down. We're down to the last 18 seconds on the Sun Devil advantage.
Right on cue, a shot block right out ahead, gets a loose puck, and finds the perfect angle off the window to get it down the ice.
Fox, the righty from Jericho, New York, just 5'10", 185, but he gets everything he can out of that frame. And a Harvard fan says, nice power play you got there. They're 1 for 6 tonight. Fans a little tough tonight in Cambridge, enjoying their Crimson in front by 2 goals.
Only one shot on that last power play for Arizona State, and it was the one that came all the way out up from the blue line that Lackey saw all the way. So really not much going for the Sun Devils there, and now they're going to have to start to press a little bit more, which is going to open up transition and possibly some odd man opportunities for the Crimson.
Just 1 goal tonight for the Sun Devils. It was in the second period off a quick face-off win. A shot fired in by Phillips Bunsis. Other than that, to your point, a long free run of play like this in open ice, Harvard's been the better team. Here's another example. Marino sends it just out of the reach of Zerder Gossage. Creeping in on the back post. Zerder Gossage has it again. Quebec native. Watches Krusko do some skating. Hard check behind the cage from Jacob Wilson.
Yeah, Gregoire tried to buy a penalty there.
Nothing there this time as we reach the last 10 minutes tonight. Lackey grabs the line out, and Marino makes sure the Sun Devils don't crash into the Crimson goaltender. 9:29 remaining. Harvard stays in front by 2. 3-1 the score over the Sun Devils. Cornell Big Red. Famous arena. They played in the Frozen Apple 4 times, and Harvard will make its first ever appearance at that marquee event. 8 rivalry gets a new look at the Frozen Apple. That's going to be a lot of fun on the 24th.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to go down there to see the Crimson take on Quinnipiac at Madison Square Garden a few years ago. It's just an unbelievable venue. They don't call it the most famous arena in the world for nothing.
Even after the renovations, you can still feel the history in that building, and it rocks when the home team is in front. Fortunately for the Rangers and the Knicks, that hasn't been happening so much lately. Former BU head coach David Quinn now at the helm of those blue sweaters in Manhattan.
Well, if the Rangers are anywhere around, if they got a little bit of time, you might see Harvard alum Jimmy Vesey in attendance too.
Oh, bodies go flying in the neutral zone. Maniscalco had his legs taken out from underneath him, and we'll get a whistle from the linesman.
Yeah, there's going to be an icing call against Harvard, but he and Bedini continued to go at each other after the fact.
Well, we mentioned these are two teams that don't have much history. In fact, Arizona State doesn't have much history in general, but the game's been physical tonight, and it's been a tough test in the non-conference schedule.
Does not take long sometimes to establish the hate.
That's what's great about hockey. All it takes is one physical game, and we'll see how this carries over into tomorrow night's game. Two teams that want to get back out on this sheet and throw some weight around. We mentioned that Arizona State traditionally has been a much better team on Saturday. Taking a while to get their sea legs underneath them. They arrived here on Wednesday, had some time to practice and get set. There's a chance developing, but the shot deflected up into the mesh by Jacob Olson. Senior blue line got back in time.
And again, another deflection, another great job by this Harvard defense. Having one of their best days of the year, I think, really, in terms of limiting what Arizona State wants to do.
Olson, part of this outstanding class of 2019 that's amassed 63 wins in 3+ seasons here at Harvard. Chance to surpass the most wins for a senior group ever. If things go right this year, it's going to take 20 more wins, but might be enough opportunities on the schedule if Harvard combines this upper class with the underclassmen talent. 8 minutes and change left in this one on a Friday night in Cambridge with a light snow falling outside. Greg Powers joked, "Oh, you saved the snow for Arizona State, huh?" Here's a chance off the end boards. Morocco missed the open door. What a find, though, on the quick redirect from Holman.
It was almost like a home run pass. They're able to clear it down. Riley Walsh doing a good job getting in front of Morocco there to be able to deny that chance.
So often you see the home team execute a play like that. They know how the bounces work off the end boards. There's a deflected shot. Buncis already with a goal tonight. Nearly deflected home a second.
Doing the smart thing, going right to the front of the goal, looking for that redirect. Bunce has been one of the best players out there for Arizona State. He's the extra man.
Buncis, a Team Latvia product, prepped with the team during training camp before the World Championships last year. Excuse me, I should say last season. Played back in May. Took some time away to represent his country. As we've seen a couple times from the Crimson as that puck clipped off the low post. Nearly poked home by Sandu. Straight out of the air. Sandu trying to catch up with the puck here, and Kerfoot takes it away. So a deep breath for Lackey, who let that one by, but he got some good help.
Yeah, great time, great possession by Arizona State. They work it around, they work it below the goal line, they get the points involved, they get traffic in front of Lackey for the first real time today. Starting to see shades of what this Sun Devils offense has been like most of the season.
Again, Arizona State having trouble at the blue line. Had to let that puck go and clear the zone. Walker's back out there with those first line forwards. Lackey let that one clip off his knee. Kept the puck moving though. Backbone.
Little try from 60 feet, why not?
Arizona State getting into some desperation time, and certainly keep an eye on Joey Decord over the next couple minutes. How aggressive will Arizona State be in pulling the goalie for an extra skater?
Well, and keep an eye on Harvard. They've struggled sometimes in these situations as well this year. Gave up leads against Princeton here at home earlier this season. Led Yale 3-2 before the Bulldogs came back to tie it. So they have not been able to hold on to leads late sometimes.
Walker trying to avoid going 3 games without a goal here. Sitting over the top of the puck was Drury, and we've got a delayed penalty here against the Crimson. So Decord gets off the ice, 6-on-5 for the time being, and Drury picks it up. We'll break with 5:30 to go, and Arizona State goes back on the man advantage. Comeback time here in Cambridge. We'll find out next. Stay with us. Power play again for Arizona State. 1 for 6 on the man advantage tonight. 3-1 the Sun Devils trail on the road here against Harvard with 5:30 to go. And there you see the upcoming schedule for Arizona State. Non-conference play all season long, an independent squad, and circumnavigating the United States over the next couple games. They'll be back here tomorrow night at Bright Landry, and then it's a road trip to Uno, University of Nebraska, Omaha, and then familiar name atop the ECAC preseason poll. 2 road games down in New Jersey against number 19 Princeton.
That has the potential to be an offensive fireworks show as well, kind of like tonight's game had the potential to be.
Haven't seen it develop quite yet, except for that outstanding Harvard power play unit. Now better than 41% as a squad this year. They're 2 for 4 on the man advantage tonight.
They get the sense that this is almost a must-score power play here for Arizona State. The Crimson, though, have dominated the special teams all night long, scoring on those 2 power plays. And even though they've given up now 6 power play chances, they've only let a goal in once.
Casey Dornbach is in the penalty box. 2 minutes for the hook. And away it goes. More time ticks off the clock as Harvard makes a line change.
Yeah, this is an area that Harvard was struggling in coming into this one. The penalty kill and given up 7 power play goals this year.
Much different story tonight. Consistency is what Ted Donato was looking for, and he's certainly seen it from this penalty kill group. Familiar faces out there again. Fox, Marino, Drury.
And 7 power play goals doesn't sound like a lot, but on 18 chances, that number doesn't work out so well. Only about a 60% conversion rate for the Crimson.
A little surprised here, Ben, to see that Arizona State has evened up the shots, 28 all. They trailed by nearly a dozen in the first period, but the way Harvard has played with the lead, they're content to let Arizona State skate around with the puck a little bit more, and Lackey has been so reliable between the pipes tonight.
Yeah, this has been the best period for Arizona State. They've held possession. They've held the puck in the offensive end.
Oh, a chance in front. Swinging and missing out of the air was Buncis.
But that's what happens at the end of it. It's either a shot block or a pass gets fumbled like that time by Buncis, or it goes off a skate, or the play is offsides.
Numbers in front for the Sun Devils, and that's off the side netting. Lemieux had a chance, gives it right to Fox. Up it goes, man released, wide open. Zerder Gossage, forehand, backhand, he scores! Decord couldn't pick him up. It was a great find up the ice, and that could be curtains for the Sun Devils. 4-1 Harvard.
Let's get another look at this move by Louis Zerder Gossage. Able to hold off the charging defender Buncis, and just a little chip shot up over the shoulder of Decord. It's not one that's going to make his personal highlight reel, but it feels good when it pretty much seals a victory for your team.
You said it right. His second goal in 6 games this year. Zerder Gossage, impressive here. and essentially puts this game away.
And that's something I was sort of looking for from Harvard tonight, Kevin. I think in order for the Crimson to really be where they want to be come the end of the season, they're going to need to start to see some more offensive production out of the top line. Frederick Gregoire, Louis Zerder-Gossage, Nathan Krusko. This represents the most experienced group that Ted Donato has, and it's a really good group that you want to match up with other teams' top lines, especially like we saw tonight with Arizona State, lines that present a lot of scoring threat. But in order to really be a top line, those guys have to produce points as well. We know they can do it. We've seen Krusko do it. We've seen Zerder-Gossage do it. He's been a top 6 guy before. Gregoire's been in the mix as well. But they just haven't produced the points this year because they're not used to being the guys. They're not used to being that top line team that you rely on night in, night out for points. They kind of have to morph themselves into a little bit more of that mold. I think if Harvard really wants to be a dangerous threat in the ECAC this year.
Zerder-Gossage has certainly been the guy tonight. A goal and 2 assists. He's in line for #1 star honors. Also nice to see Harvard sprinkling the goal scoring around. 4 tallies tonight, 4 different scores. Ted Donato and his team closing in on a first home victory this year.
Well, a strong performance from Harvard. As you can see, Arizona State, they had their chances here, especially in the third period. All those power plays. This is really one of the first few games this year that Harvard has given up that many power play chances, but it's the best that the penalty kills looked all season for sure.
Little face wash in front of the goal from Marino to Croston. Didn't like the way he barreled in on Lackey. Harvard has worked hard tonight to protect their goaltender, and I'm excited to see these teams get back on this ice tomorrow night.
It's certainly been a frustrating night for Croston. That's evidenced by the unsportsmanlike conduct he took earlier.
He sat for 10 minutes earlier in this period, and you wondered how the Sun Devils may have missed his offensive presence. So we're into the closing moments now. Crimson wouldn't mind adding another. Bedini already with a goal back out there. One of those sensational underclassmen. Marino has had such a great work rate this evening. Turn and fire, that's low from Dornbach. Casey Dornbach, another one of those freshmen who picked up his first collegiate point earlier this year. Scored goals in back-to-back games, in fact, against Princeton on November 3rd, and picked up another at Yale last weekend on November 9th. Could that be the turnaround weekend that really sprung this victory tonight? 4-1. Harvard's been in charge since the beginning. Don't forget, Arizona State didn't generate a single scoring chance in the first period.
As you said, they got here on Wednesday, but you think they would have just stepped off the plane this morning. Kind of the way as long as it took them to get their legs under them.
Big fire goes over the shoulder of Lackey. Jacob Wilson put everything he had into that one. Walker giving chase, the leading scorer in college hockey. No points tonight.
Yeah, he's really been a non-factor most of the day.
And that's been doubled. He's been harassed, and here's another save for Lackey. He's got 29 in the game.
That's a credit to what Harvard's done on the defensive end. Again, crowding him, not giving him any space to operate, forcing him to give up the puck and get his line mates more involved.
Lackey also may benefit from that winning result at Brown last weekend. Stopped 23 of 25 shots he saw. Missed the entire 2016-17 campaign due to injury. Saw action in 10 games last year. Made 9 starts overall, and for the time being, this is his job. In his senior campaign, he's going to pick up the win tonight. And Harvard will even its record. 2-2-2 through the first 6 games. Final minute we go. Stick was down in the slot momentarily, picked up. Arizona State hoping to bounce back tomorrow night. They've come a long way to play these 2 games. And Greg Powers has seen a lot tougher nights than this, building this program from a club team to a ranked Division I program. But Harvard will upend the ranked team tonight. Final seconds here, Zito works his way up the ice. Through a check against Jordan Sandu. And the clock will run down to zeros. Lackey gets one more save off the shoulder. 30 stops tonight for the starting goaltender. He gets a couple pats on the helmet from Adam Fox and company as Harvard skates off with a 4-1 victory.
Really impressive tonight from Harvard. I think their most complete 60-minute effort all year long. You saw it, special teams on both sides. The power play dominating for the Crimson. The penalty kill maybe looked even better.
A dominating performance from start to finish for the Crimson. We'll see these two teams back here at Bright Landry Hockey Center again tomorrow night. Puck drop set for 7 o'clock. You can see it live right here on ESPN+. So for my analyst, Ben Alcher, and our entire production crew here in Cambridge, I'm Kevin Gale saying so long from the Bright Landry Hockey Center, where our final score reads Harvard 4, Arizona State 1. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Good night from Cambridge.